Lollipop, lollipop, oh lollipop.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to VG Myths, the online internet video game TV show that brings new meaning to the term brain power. In Stubbs the Zombie, you play as the titular reanimated corpse on a quest to satiate both his stomach and his heart. But it's frankly bad table manners for a guest to help themselves to their host, which is why we're helping Stubbs on the path to a more polite, moral, and cleaner diet. Can you beat Stubbs the Zombie without eating brains?
He stole my hot dog!
Ow! Oh, my goodness! Oh my! Looks like he's having some kind of brain seizure. We'd better find some way of relieving the pressure in his head.
Mission failed. As you've probably gotten pretty used to by now, the game literally doesn't even let you move until after you've done the one mechanic you're not allowed to do. But as you've also probably gotten used to by now, there's a loophole. If you boot the game up in 2-player mode, the tutorial suddenly becomes optional. You have full control and can murder Ted in an entirely non-cannibalistic manner. I will note, however, while 2-player mode is necessary, it essentially gives the player infinite respawns, and honestly, I can't sleep at night knowing I let myself play a video game without the prerequisite pain and suffering. As an unofficial bonus challenge, I'll be using 2-player mode in as few levels as I can get away with. I know that's a wiggly hand kind of rule, but Stubbs is a wiggly hand kind of guy. Otherwise, the rules are as simple as they get. Just don't eat brains. Normally, eating brains is a one-hit KO, restores some health, and partially recharges your special abilities. Those special abilities in particular are extremely powerful, and the bulk of this run's difficulty will be thanks to their absence. Stubbs starts each level with some ability charges automatically, and your abilities won't carry with you between levels. Without eating brains, those free charges will have to last you the entire level. Stubbs' head can be thrown like a bowling ball and manually detonated for massive damage. This one will be used the least, since it's only given to you during its own tutorial and after starting 2 specific boss fights. Stubbs' hand can possess almost any enemy type, letting you use whatever weapon they have on them. After its tutorial, every level will give you one hand to work with. Gut grenades stick to whatever they touch and can be manually detonated at any time. In normal gameplay, these are probably the ability you'd use most often, each level granting 2 or 3. And finally, Flatulence will stun every enemy within a wide area around Stubbs, giving 1 charge in every level. Since these abilities are also valuable, your main combat strategy will be melee attack hit and runs. Try to take out 1 or 2 enemies, run for cover, wait for your health to regen, and come back for more ASAP. While you could theoretically win a battle solo, enemies killed by your melee attacks will come back from the land of the dead with a hunger for flesh. Zombie allies are generally only useful in combat with a large group, but even a single zombie works great as a distraction. If you're particularly outnumbered and the odds are vastly out of your favor, find a safe place to camp and crawl your hand over to an armed enemy. With their body under your control, start playing cheesy and abuse cover to take out their friends as safely as possible. Even while you're controlling them, humans don't have health regen, so every hit you take is permanent health loss. Remember, you only have 1 hand per level and the game autosaves pretty frequently, so if you don't make decent progress before getting shot down, you should probably reload the last autosave and try again. Used properly, the hand is by far the strongest and cheesiest ability in your arsenal. The first problem area came with the boss of the Punch Bowl Mall. Not because the boss is hard, he's actually pathetically easy. The problem is, he's friggin' immortal. The level is specifically programmed to play the end cutscene after he's dead. Once you disarm him and deal enough damage, he'll be stunned by every attack you make and susceptible to brain eating, the dev-intended final blow. I spammed melee attacks, grenades, and shotgun blast to the face with no results. This boss's life, and thus the level's finish line, is inextricably linked to the brain eating animation. But hold on 1 second, we've got some next level semantics to save the day. We have to trigger the brain eating animation, sure, but who says we actually have to eat any brains? This is what happens if we eat his brain the normal way. Pay close attention.
It's chewing on my brain.
Did you see it? Stubbs' abilities don't officially get charged until the animation is about 3/4 the way done, at the precise moment Stubbs manages to gnaw past his victim's skull. As far as the game is concerned, this is the exact moment the brain goes from fresh to ABC. If the animation is interrupted before this point, for example, if Stubbs suffers an unfortunate accident in the middle of his meal, the boss's brain will be left intact, but he'll spontaneously decide he's now deceased. After bashing up to Otis's front porch, the run once again came into jeopardy for a stupidly silly reason. If there's an enemy close enough behind a breakable door, Stubbs will always automatically open the door and eat their brain simultaneously. It just so happens someone with extremely questionable priorities is standing with their back to the only entrance. But there is another loophole we can still take advantage of. Stubbs is too polite to desecrate a corpse. It's time for an inside job. After clearing the house's exterior, send your hand up to the roof and down the chimney. A full-on firefight would be too risky, so possess someone next to the door and run out. If you put your gun down, there will be absolutely no reason whatsoever for anybody else in the house to suspect anything abnormal, letting you nonchalantly walk to the exit, convince the guard to stop being delicious, and swap back to Stubbs to break down the door, diet intact. In the dam level, I chose to use up my arm halfway through to possess a member of the barbershop security team and clear the way forward. In retrospect, that arm probably would have been better used at the end of the level. Your zombie allies have to charge up all 4 electric nodes simultaneously multiple times, each time spawning a bunch of enemies, including highly dangerous jetpack barbers that will immediately kill each zombie. You thankfully start with a jeep, which you can use to take out everybody on the ground. For the barbers, it's tedious but just barely possible to deal damage to them with a jump attack. If you drive the jeep near them, you can get a bit of extra height, and if you're really desperate, you can use one of your gut grenades. With the dam finished, the army will arrive and you'll enter what is undoubtedly the hardest level in the game. Soldiers carry machine guns that eat through your health way faster than any other enemy type. They'll usually kill any recently converted personnel immediately. Slow and methodical hit-and-run tactics are required even when fighting just 2 or 3 soldiers. To make matters worse, using your hand is practically required at the level's endpoint in a separate load zone, so you'll have to go through almost this entire gauntlet without your bare hand. While it's exceedingly rare, enemies will sometimes accidentally shoot each other while trying to shoot you, and with these odds, you might have to rely on that. Snipers in particular deal massive damage and rarely miss, so take extra care to stay out of their line of sight. At the end of the first zone, you need follower zombies to break down this wall as reinforcements come in from behind to gun them down. Take out the first group of reinforcements the usual way, then steal their jeep and prepare yourself for the next set to spawn in. Run down all but 1 soldier, convert him, then repeat until the wall is finally broken down. The level's last set piece is similar, but in a wider area with multiple enemy respawn points, no jeep to work with, and a handful of enemies on the wall itself shooting you from above. The guys on the wall won't respawn, so bunker in a safe position, sneak your hand over the wall, possess the guy with the rocket launcher, and blow everybody else to smithereens. Once you become smithereens yourself, you'll have to go back to fighting the traditional way. After dealing a bit of damage to the wall, a massive wave of enemies will spawn in. Slow and steady is absolutely not going to win this race. Every enemy you kill will be replaced faster than you can kill another. Instead, while you've still got some zombies left as a distraction, run in, unleash your flatulence, and take down as many of them as you can in the ensuing chaos. If you manage to turn the tides and intercept each respawning soldier, the gate will finally fall, officially completing the hardest level in the game. The next level takes place in super cramped hallways with plenty of cover, making it far easier. Back outside, you'll have to fight the army once again, but this time, you've got a tank. Tanks, as you may have suspected, do not eat brains, so we're good. There is, however, one long stretch of level we have to do tankless featuring multiple snipers. Possess the first soldier in the doorway and try to cause as much damage with him as you can. In particular, you'll need to at least take down the first sniper up on the right awnings. After you die, shamble out of cover to the opposite side of the level directly through the hail of bullets and pray to your zombie deity of choice. If you're still undead by the time you reach safety, you'll have another tank waiting for you to politely borrow and drive right on up to City Hall. In the lobby, the security team tends not to come after you on the stairs, so you can hide out there in between hit and runs. In the barbershop quartet battle, I somehow managed to find a use for the crouch attack, which I also somehow managed to find out exists. Lure one barber to your side of cover and mash crouch attacks. You aren't in the line of sight of the other barbers, letting you drop them one by one. The final battle against Andrew Monday is one of the hardest set pieces in the game. Andrew sits behind 2 force fields you need to destroy and shoots at you with both a highly dangerous laser machine gun and laser homing blasts. And he's protected by a respawning barbershop security team. But personally, I'm not impressed. I'm gonna take him down with just one hand. Run into one of the side rooms, lend a hand to a barber, then get him to hunker down with you. Run up to the door, fire a few lasers, let the door close, sip a latte, and repeat for about 5 minutes until your head explodes in celebration. With Andrew permanently grounded and our favorite door-to-door salesman finally reunited with his family after overcoming addiction, the Stubbs the Zombie Brainless run is mission complete. Special thanks to all Patreon backers, including all the bugs Yugi has killed: Andrew Seibert, Mrs. Seckman, RB Drox, All Zero, Chris Ney, Alexander Botkin, Non42, Anu, Akira, Chosen Muffin, Vincent Hall, Vincent YT, Alex Nelson, Yellow Alert, Lively Leader, Lady Ashley, David 20 Covers, The Quacky Gamer, Luminescent Dragon, Jace Nilges, Backzoid, Z-Master, Praetor, Blake Long, Vaith. Whether we wanted it or not, we stepped into a war with the Cabal. Rory Kelly, Lane Robert Leishman, Queen Sapphire, Crustacean Creep, Liddy Kitty, Chase Harsh, Plum Sweater, Cam the Can 1, Nathaniel Kalita, Xander Kozak, Celestial Cookie, 8-Bit Misdreavus, Procrastinating Destiny, Epic Evan 921, Alex Likes to Eat, Ye Old Foreign, Super Davio, Ace of Heartsu, Rundum Goy, Misfunctional Jorb, KK, Gussios, Alistair Echoes, John Ferry. Hey Game Champ, I'm entirely out of funny names. Please DM me suggestions. I'm being entirely serious about this. Zoe, Multicore, Brandon Jessup, Aaron Bailey, The Green Scorpion, Game Champ says trans rights are human rights, Maverick Swordsman, Boom Boxy, John Miller, Star Captain Eli Shaba of Clan Ghost Bear, SNS Main, Lero Rario, Dino Nerd Ghost, Christopher Gunderson, Curbs D50, Damian R, James Simon, That One Night 5, Yop Alonzo, Wave It, Platypoo 115, Sands from Undertale, Danzarios, Chronosanthium, What's That Noise, Dro 25, Blue Moon Von Idaho, Britface, drawn by AJ's haha funny meme name, The Nonchalant Nacho, Bragger Jester, Kid, Very Gucci, Blue Boo, Fabi, West 450, Riley Anderson, Chenzo, Neo Sandman 4040, Zith Aggle, Arcombs, Robbie Cohenstrom. When we hit 200 Patreon supporters, GameChamp 3000 has to read the Patreon names in a funny voice for one video, but I acknowledge Mars Becker, Salty Sweet, Slowest Game of Chess, Black moves Knight to F6, Officer Slard, Spartan 5398, Slowest Game of Cheese, As Why I Move a Pawn to C3. Kimsey will also join in this game of rock, paper, scissors. Rock, Pie Boy, Telmadro, I Love You Game Champ, Ivy Mackey, Sinique is pronounced Sinique, Sulfuric Boss, Sandragon, Eric Barron, Palthea, Sir Catmoose, Cyril, Megalo Sandstale, Fyra, Common CJ, Shadowfire 638, Amy Cable, and Silktoid. Let me know how much this video sucks and how to improve in the comments below. By the way, I've got a friend over at my house for dinner tonight, and we've got room for one more. Oh, this thing? It's a hat.
Corporal, what the hell happened?
Sir, we lost control, sir! The zombies got in somehow, and...
It's all right, son. I've received word we're preparing to write off this whole town.
Sir?
They're going to deploy the chubby kitten, Corporal.
Not the chubby kitten, sir!
It has to be done, son. Collect any survivors and get moving. We'll be pulling out soon.